Okay, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to Shame on News. Hope you guys can subscribe. Click that subscribe button down at the bottom, and don't miss out on the daily content here. And click that like button, share this video wherever you can. PewDiePie is under attack for the millionth time, but this is the dumbest attack ever. This is probably one of the worst sort of attacks that has come down on him. There are so many villains in this to me that it's almost out of control at this point. I will say that I've been following it from the beginning. And I think one of the best people that has covered it so far has been Keemstar from Drama Alert. Maybe not in depth, but he's brought everything to light so that perhaps you could do research and come to your own conclusions. I think, to me, if you don't know what's going on, to break it down real quick, and maybe Jake will pour on some extra on this, but what's happened is he's being painted as an anti-Semite, which is insane. The guy literally... He orders something. He wanted to show how dumb and crazy Fiverr is. So he orders something on Fiverr, has these guys hold up a sign. They'll do anything, whatever, for $5, and that's what the site's about. I'm on Fiverr, actually. It's just a site where you can have commercial usage. People will paint you a picture for $5. People will create music for your YouTube channel for $5. So
yeah, people do voiceovers. Like there's a whole bunch of services out there. People even play video.
Oh, you just broke up completely. I didn't hear anything you said, but
They'll even play video games with you for $5.
Right, yeah. So they'll do anything. Somebody will play $5 video games for $5. You can't buy hookers yet on there, but basically, the sign said "kill all Jews" is what the sign said, and when he saw that they actually did it, because he wanted to see if they would do it, and so when they actually showed the sign and he did the whole reveal of himself on camera. I don't know if that was the first time he really saw it or if he was, like, doing it to show everybody, like, wow, look at this. These people actually did this. They'll do anything.
He claims it was actually the first time he saw it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. The whole point was he had those Fiverr guys, argue back and forth, and then they went ahead and they opened up the sign that said "Death to all Jews," and then a message popped up that said "Subscribe to Keemstar." So it was like a social commentary on how people will do anything for money.
Right.
And it was also, a joke behind it, teasing Keemstar, showing that actually not PewDiePie, but Keemstar's the anti-Semite.
Right.
And what kills me in all this is that, then the Fiverr guys, as they call themselves, lost their position on Fiverr. They were banned from the site.
Right.
Same thing with the Jesus guy that dresses up and looks like Jesus.
Yeah.
Had said that Hitler does nothing or did nothing wrong. Like, it was all different jokes, just popular meme culture.
Yeah.
And both of them got banned. PewDiePie donated $500 to each of them, I believe, and helped them to try and get their status back. And he even accepted the ban on the site for himself in order for them to get put back on. So, he originally made a joke, and then they said, oh, we didn't understand what we were doing, but yet they took the money and did the service. So.
Yeah, I mean, anything for money. I mean, that's what the site's about. I mean, these people are trying to make a living and stuff, whatever. It's not like he went out and killed somebody.
Exactly, but that was the social commentary behind it.
But also the
people
point
will do
is,
anything for money.
They're saying he's an anti-Semite, but the point of it is he could have done anything on that sign. Now, in retrospect, if he could go back in time, maybe he would write, there's nothing you can do to prove the point that PewDiePie was trying to prove. There's nothing you can do that wouldn't be offensive, because you could replace it with anything. First of all, it didn't have to be whatever death. What is it? Death is it death to all Jews? Is that what it said?
Yeah, it said death to all Jews.
It could have said death to all white people. It could have said I hate blacks. It could have said like fucking murder animals. Like I hope animals die. Like it could have said anything.
Pork fried rice. It still would have been.
And no matter what it said, he would have been under fire from some group and somebody, because he's such a big YouTuber. And, if a guy with 20,000 subs does this, maybe people go, wow, what a social commentary that was, and they subscribe to him. But a guy like PewDiePie gets on, of course he's going to get attacked, because the more listeners, the more people watching, the more attacks you receive. As we know, I know that, and so doesn't, JD from New York and people on my other channel, my other bigger channels. Know this.
Exactly. He's YouTube's biggest star by far, and he's got a wide array of people that watch him, a very diverse mix. Everything from young children to senior citizens enjoy his content. And, I mean, the quote that Felix said himself was, "It was a funny meme. I didn't even think it would work. I swear I love Jews. I love them." And then he played a few notes on his kazoo. It wasn't meant to be anything but a joke. And what bothers me is you see comedians say horrible, horrible things all the time. Sarah Silverman and, people of the like have said worse things about the Holocaust, and just to name a few, and it's like, it's okay for them, but because PewDiePie is new media, he's threatening old media like the New York Times. They go ahead and they make him an anti-Semite to push their agenda. And that's our problem with all of this.
Yeah. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. The Wall Street Journal is a fucking disastrous piece of shit. And honestly, if I was PewDiePie, I might sue the Wall Street Journal. Especially since they're in America. Fuck the Wall Street Journal up the ass. How any of this is just another... fake news identified, as far as I'm concerned. They put sad music behind his videos. They painted a narrative that he's an anti-Semite because they need news. Because they're afraid of people on YouTube and people like PewDiePie. I told you, I'm worried about this whole thing because these people like Disney and these big corporations, a lot of these people are behind Google, and then Google bought YouTube. Well, now everybody is kind of against YouTube, or at least when it gets too powerful, they're against it. And you notice the change in YouTube over the last few years where they push NBC and all these fucking mainstream shows and mainstream things, and they push down everybody else. Now PewDiePie's kind of gone from Maker Studios and all these things. It's like, to me, it's a big conspiracy. If you look at it, these 5 major networks that own everything in the country, and if anybody from the outside in the internet starts to rise up, they want to attack them and shoot them down. Well, now they own YouTube. Google purchased YouTube. So, you can't just all of a sudden the next day flip-flop everything and take over. But over the next few years, you can start to merge in and start to break it down to what you want it to be and change it.
Exactly. I mean, look at the trending tab. That proves your point right there. It's either, like you said, Late Night with Seth Meyers or, Conan O'Brien or, you got all these things. The Ellen DeGeneres Show. It's not about content creators on the site anymore. It's not about the values that YouTube originally, created themselves. It's all a corporate machine nowadays, and everything feels like a gigantic paid promotion.
Yeah, and that's what this has turned into, and this is what they want. This is the biggest guy, the lightning rod on YouTube that they had to silence. I'm not part of any groups. This is why I'm not part of groups, really. I don't believe in any religions. I don't believe in any fucking groups. I don't give a shit. Like, I hate them all because all of them just attack people. Whenever you're part of a full-on group, anybody says a joke about it, everybody gets all butthurt. Let's be honest, the Jewish people own just about everything. You piss off the Jews, you're fucked. And that's what it looks like to me. I mean, that's just me from the outside looking in at it.
But it's real rich coming from people like Disney, who bought Maker Studios. And the fact that PewDiePie today put out a video, his response to all of this, and he said, I'm not just going to address my audience, but I'm going to address everyone, especially mainstream media. He apologized for the words that he used. He said, I know they offend people. I admit that the joke went too far. And I do strongly believe that you can joke about anything, though, but there's a right way and a wrong way. And he said, I love to push boundaries. I would consider myself a rookie comedian, and I've made mistakes before, but it's always been a learning and growing experience for me. And it all came from a good place. He was being funny. He was being a comedian.
Yeah.
And they strong-armed him into not only being kicked out of Maker, not only losing the, prioritized ads for YouTube, but his Scare PewDiePie Season 2 got canceled. Yeah. And there was 100+ people employed on that show that now lost their jobs.
Yeah, because of the Wall Street Journal, as far as I'm concerned. It's not even his fault. It's the hype that the Wall Street Journal the narrative and the hype that they put behind this. They created fake news, they created an issue, and then they made it insane. And when you create an issue, you can start something, and they did. What I've decided to write, what he wrote on that paper, probably not. What I probably would have written was like, because I'm like a 5-year-old, I would have written like I fuck dogs or something, you know what I mean? Like
eat my shit,
yeah,
something.
Like my balls, like my sperm fits inside a dog, like something weird.
See, I would have done something more, toward the Fiverr guys themselves, like clean our water. I would have done something that more mock them. I think it would have been even worse.
But
regardless, he's taken such a direct attack for something that people do on a regular basis. Like I said, there's so many comedians out there that have said some god-awful things before. And it's okay for the most part for them because, like you said, it's all under the veil of comedy. You know, it's a parody.
Well, to me, this country's under attack by the media, as far as I'm concerned, especially the Wall Street Journal and things like that. The Wall Street fake news. You've been confirmed as fake news. That is a fact now. Wall Street Journal is fake news because they changed the narrative and changed what the video was about. And that's just a fact. You can go look it up for yourselves. So to me now, everything the Wall Street Journal posts is horse shit. Just like CNN, just like many of these other news outlets. You know that CNN anchor who said the worst thing you can do is call a reporting agency fake news. It's like the N-word or something. Yeah, well, guess what? You're fake news, you fucking cunt. How about that, you bitch? CNN,
I mean, they lost all credibility entirely. PewDiePie said today, I'm still here, I'm still making videos. Nice try, Wall Street Journal. Try again, motherfuckers.
Yeah, try again,
but it wasn't
you suck.
just them. Even I said, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, everybody reported on it. And PewDiePie, Felix received a ton of support from creators on YouTube. As you said, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, ETC News, Keemstar, everybody stood behind him, even Philip DeFranco. But then you get people like Casey Neistat.
Oh my fucking God. Yeah, he was bought out by CNN. Jake, you nailed it. I said this months ago. I was like, why would he leave YouTube? I was flipping out. Why would he leave YouTube? And this is before anyone knew about the CNN stuff. And I was like, this makes no goddamn sense. And the next thing you know, he was reported that he signed with CNN or whatever. He took money from CNN. But then
$25 million.
But dude, here's the worst thing. He then goes on his fucking channel and lies to everyone and just says he's leaving YouTube. It isn't until weeks later that he tells everyone about the CNN thing. He just says, "Oh, I'm too good for this. It's too much right now. I'm a noble person. I'm leaving." Oh no, wait a minute. You didn't tell them about the CNN deal until weeks later. This guy is a cunt. Fuck you, Casey Neistat. You ugly gnome-looking shit. Joe. He is a dishonest gnome.
Well, obviously, yeah, but then he went ahead and he tried to manipulate all of his subscribers into voting for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Then he tells you who to vote for. And listen, I didn't vote for fucking anybody, by the way, so just in case anybody gets that out of their mind. Yeah, this cocksucker goes and tries to manipulate his audience. Listen, even if I had a goddamn hard-on for Donald Trump and I wanted him to be elected, I'm not going to go on my YouTube channel and be like, you must vote for Donald Trump, everyone. Our lives depend on it. If I'm a news station pushing that fucking narrative, I suppose, then like Alex Jones. Alex Jones, I guess, doing it is okay because I get it, although he still is manipulative in a way because he says he's free to anything, but then he pushes the candidate hard. But that's his typical subject nature. That's what you go to him for.
Expect that. Is political, updates, news, and opinions.
Right.
But Casey Neistat was a vlog channel that suddenly said he was leaving YouTube, then came back to push everybody into declaring who they were voting for and, showing his allegiance to Hillary Clinton, CNN, the Clinton News Network, as it said.
Which is okay. Again, I don't want to censor him. He can do anything he wants. I don't want to fucking take his words out of context like he would do or like...
But it's the way he did it. He forced people. He said, who are you voting for? Saying that you're not declaring who you're voting for basically makes you an enemy of the state. Doing what you did by not voting makes you, public enemy number one.
Really?
He tried to out people and force people into voting. That was his whole, mindset there.
Well, hey, Casey Neistat, I'm on Shame on News, Joe Cronin Show. Come get me, you ugly fucking gnome crater face troll fuck. You cum guzzler. You're one of those fucking guys who just goddamn sleeps in his fucking with his little smirk on his face behind the keyboard manipulating a bunch of fucking kids. Meanwhile, you're calling out obvious shit like this shit that PewDiePie does. Meanwhile, you're one of the biggest fucking criminals on this website. You don't even belong on YouTube anymore. You don't want to be here. You said you were leaving, but you won't fucking go the fuck away, you sellout cunt. You are the fucking goddamn... When you look up sellout in the dictionary, the fucker's face comes up now. Never mind Metallica. Remember when people thought Metallica and shit like that sold out?
Yeah, with
Fuck
Napster.
That. Metallica was just standing up to defend their fucking music that they owned, and they wanted to make sure they kept making a living on it, which actually Metallica ended up being right, because now the fucking music industry is fucked. But actually, it's a good thing because now independent artists can take over for themselves and be in business for themselves. No longer are music artists have to rely on labels to get their shit over. They can get it over on YouTube and places like that. Now, hopefully YouTube doesn't go away because it seems like there's some kind of hostile takeover on YouTube. But Casey Neistat, get the fuck off YouTube, you sellout fuck. I will fuck you in the mouth with my fucking dick and then put a fucking Japanese dildo up your ass, you fucking skateboarding cocksucker. I hope you fucking go up a half pipe one day and fall off and fall on your fucking neck. Then you're fucking Casey fucking paralyzed in the goddamn hospital, and you're sucking on a fucking nurse's dick. The nurse is a guy, and he's bringing you a bedpan to shit in, so you can shit in your bedpan and then suck his cock, which is what you're fucking good at. You got a big CNN dick up your ass. You fuck. Go to CNN, be a fucking fake news reporter, and stay the fuck off YouTube with your fucking faggy-ass influence, you cunt. Fuck you. I'm with fucking Keemstar. I'm with PewDiePie. I'm with real fucking people who are on YouTube trying to fucking create and fucking show everybody exactly what we want to see, which is entertainment. You're not entertaining anyone. You're just fucking telling everybody what you want to hear, you narcissistic sweater douchebag wearing fuckbag. Why don't you fucking take Old Navy's logo and eat it live on the fucking YouTube channel as you suck a guy's cock, you fuck Casey Neistat, you crater-faced troll-looking motherfucker. What the fuck did you say in this video? Hold on a second. I'm fucking pissed off. You're not going to be able to hear this, but I'll reiterate it. Hold
That's
on.
a bigger deal. In conclusion, PewDiePie, I think he'll be okay. People have a tendency to forgive and forget.
Yeah, PewDiePie, you'll be okay. People have a tendency to forgive and forget. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I don't forget that you're a fucking sellout, that you lied to your audience for weeks and said you were going away when you really signed with CNN, you lying cocksucker. And I don't forget that you're wearing sunglasses in this video, and I don't trust anybody that wears sunglasses for a fucking 4-minute video. What are you hiding behind, you ugly gnome fuck? Wear a mask, you cunt, with your fucking slicky curly hair, with your YouTube drama sign at the beginning of PewDiePie versus free speech video. PewDiePie versus free speech. Well, you certainly aren't for free speech. You say you are at the end, but you definitely aren't because you're with CNN, the fake news channel. Why don't you... Where the fuck does he make these videos, by the way, Jake? He's in like a fucking shop with an AC behind him and a shop vac and paint, and there's a keyboard on the wall and there's spray cans everywhere. Why don't you...
Yeah.
Why don't you tie yourself up to the wall and let somebody shoot nail guns into your fucking... Just take a nail gun and staple your ass to the wall. When the customers come in, they can see your stapled ass to the fucking wall with your shitty bracelets on your left hand. And your fucking right hand is the hand you fist your friends with.
But he contradicts himself so many times in this piece. I mean, Keemstar said it best. He goes ahead and says, "Oh, well, you're representing the platform," and it's just he pigeonholed himself into a corner with his explanation here against free speech. But the problem is that he's basically saying that the speech isn't free. Right. You have people like H3H3, Ethan Klein defending PewDiePie, saying he's not a real racist. He's a comedian, and if he pushed the boundary too far, that's too bad, but he's not an anti-Semite. And you got people like Casey Neistat saying, well, he shouldn't be on here. Basically, a YouTube creator that grew up on the site goes ahead and basically betrays everything that he once stood for.
Yeah.
That's everybody's problem at this point.
Because he's a sellout.
Basically, yeah, he's an absolute sellout. He said fuck you to his roots and gave up on everybody. He took the money and ran.
This guy should go run a business somewhere because you're a cunt. Go run a business so you can boss people around. What the fuck is Neistat? What religion is he? I wonder. With his fucking
God knows.
Swirly fucking hair and his goofy ass fucking nose. He looks like she should have been a boxer or something. But anyway, the way he acts is like a corporate cocksucker boss. Go be a corporate cocksucker boss.
He prays to the church of pussy. That's what it is.
Someone said I bet CNN paid you shitloads for this in the comments below. PewDiePie did nothing wrong. I mean, Casey Neistat's getting buried by anybody with a brain, okay? I mean, 60,000 dislikes to 100,000. So he's got 100,000 brainwashed fucking idiots. These calm, cool, and collected liberal types until you win. Then when you win with them, then they turn into insane. Then their only thing that they can do is ban you or kill you or freak out on you that way. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, I have flip-flopped so much, dude. I can't even tell you. I'm terrified of politics, people in politics my whole life. I think these people are just disgusting. But now the left side has just gone crazy. And this is more proof of it from Casey Neistat, who just wants to silence people or belittle people using words. It's funny. It used to be in the 80s that the bullies were the jocks. Even in the 90s, the bullies were the jocks. It was like, man, this guy might tie me up to a pole or something. But now... not only do we have jocks as bullies still, but now we have nerds as bullies. Nerds as bullies. The bullies are the nerds now. Everything is flip-flopped. It's hilarious. So, but what is more terrifying than somebody who is out of touch with reality with the ability to be a bully? And that's what...
Absolutely.
And sure, a jock is a bully, and none of us like the football guy who kicks you in the balls and then spray paints your locker pink. or something, or then maybe even goes too far and duct tapes you and throws you in a bathroom and leaves you overnight.
All this hazing bullshit.
Yeah, the hazing type of stuff. That's just a physical bullying that, we don't really need, but it happens, and and I don't like it, and shit happened to me, it sucks. But there's a new bullying that's out there, and it's by these fucking dorkos like Casey fucking Neistat, who should be just running a business somewhere. Even the guy who fucking, and who another person like this is, even that cocksucker who fucking had that vaccine, who like increased the vaccine like 500 times or whatever. That cunt.
No, I can't
Scrolly
think of his
or
name.
Mark Scroll or whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, what a fucking psychopath he is. And that guy's in charge of a fucking a cure for something. I mean, what the hell?
What he did was, it was Diaprim and a few others, and he just, increased the price by something like 4,000%.
Yeah.
Both on the EpiPens and some other life-saving drug.
Yeah, welcome to capitalism goes wrong right there.
Exactly.
That's why there's no definite thing. There's no communism, capitalism, socialism. There's only what worksism, and that doesn't get done. But there's where one capitalism works a ton usually, but there's some places where capitalism turns into bad, and there's a good example of it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just the evidentially obvious. There's so much factual evidence here that old media is just, finding a way to silence new media. I mean, you look at Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Eddie Izzard, Jim Jeffries, Louis Black, Ricky Gervais, even, drumroll, George fucking Carlin. You have all these people that have for years, outlandish and fact-based or not, offensive things that was part of their repertoire material for years. Anti-theistic, anti-theism, anti-religion, everything. And that's okay because it's under the veil of comedy. But because PewDiePie does some things and it's online and it's a form of new media in YouTube, he's got to represent the site, and now they're working on censorship. It was all just like you said, Wall Street Journal had an agenda. They took everything he said, they went through hundreds of videos, they took little pieces, they removed the context, they put it all to sad music, and then they showed a few different websites that, used Felix as a hate-mongering, anti-Semite, and they showed him as like their new hero, their new Hitler, and it was all just manufactured to make PewDiePie the bad guy, and it just angers me.
Yeah, and I hope something happens to these guys. I wish somebody would sue them, to be honest, because I think it's defamation of character, maybe, because they're calling him he's being called an anti-Semite, so that's, you can say whatever you want. I support free speech from anybody, but they're the press. So they're supposed to be, because these are the ones that tell us, like, you can't have access. What was it, CNN? You can't have access to WikiLeaks. We are the press. We are able to handle it, to divulge the correct information. You're not supposed to read WikiLeaks. They literally said this. You have to come to us to get the information because we'll sort it out properly for you, the right way. We're the responsible ones. You're not supposed to go and just read WikiLeaks. Like,
no, you're not.
What?
And that's the problem.
So the press holds themselves to a high standard that everything they report is fact. So it's different than me and you's free speech. It's not like well, you said you like free speech, so why can't Wall Street call him an anti-Semite? Why can't Wall Street accuse him of these things? Well, because they say they're the news. They say they're the facts. They're going to bring you the facts. They did not bring you the facts. If they brought you the facts, they would have given a middle story, which would have said, did some of what PewDiePie offend many people? Yes. But is he an anti-Semite? No. PewDiePie simply does satirical jokes that this da-da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly. It wasn't fact. It was opinion-based, and it was presented as factual.
Right.
Again,
opinion-based,
fake news.
presented as factual by a so-called factual news source. Fuck you, Wall Street, and fuck every other person out there that's fake news, and we'll continue to call out the fake news because it's happening more and more. And get ready, folks, because Obama gave the fucking internet away to the UN. So at some point, when all these fucking companies are mad, and eventually what will happen is there'll be a website that somebody creates which is free. It's not YouTube anymore. It's like free of everything. Okay, it's not a big company like Disney. It's not a Wall Street. It's not a fucking NBC or whatever the fuck fake news. It's not Google anymore because Google is now, remember Google is under the umbrella of the 5 major corporations in the country that's against all of us and that Casey Neistat now works for, by the way. it will be a free entity website. Well, YouTube isn't really YouTube anymore. They're taking that away more and more. It's becoming our tube and not your tube. So there'll be a new thing like your video show or your video channel or TubeU or something, whatever the fuck comes out, and it will be completely free, like Dailymotion, or something like that. And what will happen is, that's what will happen. We'll all end up going there, and then that will be called the dark web, and they will go on there. And even though on YouTube right now, you can go look up some stuff, and you'll find some fucked up stuff that hasn't been found yet, whether it's weird shit with kids or fucking torture things or inappropriate type of stuff or nudity or maybe whatever the fuck. You'll find it on YouTube still right now. I could go searching YouTube right now and make a video called YouTube Supports Rape or YouTube supports this, and I could go create a narrative that this is what YouTube does. And if somebody didn't know YouTube or watch YouTube, they'd be like, wow, that place is awful, what a cesspool of shit, so I could paint that picture of YouTube. So but I won't. But what will happen is when that new site is created where everybody starts going to, the YouTubes and the media, they will all go to this website. They will call it dark internet or the underground internet, and they'll find the worst videos that are probably put up by scumbags on this new place, and they'll try to bury it as this hateful, terrible fucking monster of a place. And I'm telling you that something like this is bound to happen at some point.
Oh, it's absolutely coming. I mean, it's only a matter of time, like you said. Competition is good for us, and competition breeds change. And that's what we need right now. We need to see things change once again. YouTube is losing their values as a platform, and it's unfortunate.
Let's also talk about real quickly. We got to get out of here, but I just want to quickly mention. I want to throw this out there and let you think about it. This was brought up by Keemstar and Drama Alert. And by the way, I thought about this myself because I actually didn't remember this story, but at the time I kind of thought about it like that's fucking weird. But I never put two and two together, and Keemstar did on the Drama Alert video. That the fucking Maker Studios dropped PewDiePie right after this happened, but they dropped PewDiePie the day after Shay Carl, the guy who owns Maker Studios, the day after he was caught DMing with some cam girl, with some slutty cam girl. He was DMing her like, I don't know, inappropriate shit, and he's married. So he checked himself in a rehab and then said he was on alcohol and that's why he needed rehab because he was texting because he was drunk as shit or something. But the very next day, PewDiePie gets let go. Well, if you want to create a distraction, because you say to yourself, why in the world would Maker Studios want to get rid of PewDiePie? Maker Studios is saying they only want to have 300 channels. I mean, sure, they could have been pressured by Disney. They could have been pressured by whatever, Google or whoever.
Yeah, Felix says they were strong-armed into it, but I don't know. Like you said, it's just hard not to see a coincidence there.
A little weird. And you know what? It worked.
This cam girl comes out, and she was talking to, Shay Carl and flirting with him, and everything was fine. And then she made some comment about, oh, your daughter's cute. And suddenly it got a little too real for him. And everything started to come to light. And he said, oh, I'm doing a bad thing. Don't talk to me anymore. He went to go block her. And look at that. She blew his ass up and posted everything. And he said some god-awful stuff on there.
I don't know what he said exactly. What do you say? Like, show me your tits? I mean, I don't know.
Some videos of people that read it, like, even Drama Alert's video got age-gated just for reciting some of the stuff that he said. It was very sexually graphic. You know?
Well, I mean, and to be honest, I give the guy benefit of the doubt. I mean, shit happens. You get drunk. Maybe some girl texts you or something. I mean,
but this was he was in contact with her for months on end on a regular basis. This wasn't a one-time or few-time deal. It was basically an online affair, and he was working on meeting her. Allegedly, but
okay, well, yeah, that's weird.
But like you said, what a better way to make it go away than replacing it, sweeping it under the rug, and getting a new scandal to get everybody focused on.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, because no one would ever think you'd get rid of PewDiePie, and you'd think to yourself, like, I can't believe, even with this happening, that you would get rid of the number one YouTuber that makes you so much money. Why in the world would you get rid of this guy? I can't believe they got rid of him. This is crazy. And then to find that out like the day later, it's like, well, quickly drop PewDiePie. He's already in this scandal, and it won't. Well, it's almost like the perfect thing for the guy for Shay Carl. It's almost a no-brainer. If you're Shay Carl, you have kids and a wife, and you start being a fuckbag, and then all of a sudden you get called out on it, and you're freaking out for 24 hours, and then you realize that PewDiePie's got heat for saying this shit, and this stuff is going on. Well, what the fuck? It's almost obvious to me. Like, fuck, I'm gonna release you to PewDiePie. It will blow up all over the internet. But I would also maybe think to myself, well, if I do that, then people are going to bring up Maker Studios getting rid of them, and I'm in Maker Studios, and then they're going to talk about my DMing stuff. It almost might go away more if you didn't do that. So that it kind of plays both ways. I know what Keemstar was saying, and I kind of thought it too. But now that I think about it, either way, it's bad for him, because if he doesn't drop PewDiePie, then there's no hoopla over all this shit. And then his DMs aren't really talked about maybe as much, or it goes away pretty quick, no one cares. But now, you've got hundreds of thousands of people trying to connect that. So it actually has worked the other way, I think, now. Because now I'm talking about it.
Now people are aware of it and making note of it. And
they might start blaming that it's the reason. I mean, so I don't know, dude. Shit, I don't know. Who knows what the fuck is going on? If anybody wants to talk to us about it, hit us up on Twitter, @ShameOnNews on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe down below. Don't miss out on more podcasts, more videos. I may even upload this to the Joe Cronin Show because I think it's that important, to be honest, about YouTube. But make sure you subscribe to Shame on News. I will try to bring you impartial stuff. There's some criticism I do have of Trump that I haven't uploaded yet. I've done a lot of criticisms of opposers to Trump and a lot of the liberal side, but there are some things on Trump that I haven't criticized that I do want to criticize as well, because I do want to try to remain independent. I am not a news source. I'm just a pundit type of fucking commentator. That's all I'm doing. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about half the time, but this is what I'm doing, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to stay in the middle. I'm trying to call out everything, and recently I have called out a lot of things, but they have been towards one side that I've called out, and I do want to make sure that I cover all bases. It just right now I've been making videos on whatever flames me, whatever pisses me off. You know what I mean? I made a video supporting the cops. I've also made a video supporting Eric Garner when the cops attacked him. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing. I did a rant on the NYPD, choking this guy out for no fucking real reason. I understand he resisted slightly. And the other day, I guess some girl got hurt by the cops. And, the video says, like, more brutality by the police. And all this stuff plays of the girl being dragged away by the police and her whatever the fuck. And then, and people are writing, what awful pigs, what awful cops. But then, come to find out, in the video, in the comments below, the girl was like, people were trying to figure out why the cops did this. And it turns out, she goes, well, all she did was shove the cop back out into the hallway. And it was like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. So she shoved a cop out into the hallway. Now, this is a pregnant girl, 17 years old, I guess. But it was like, the whole thing was pissing me off. I was watching it, and I was getting angry. And then I see the comment down below, and then I see the other video, and I see the video of her pushing the cop. And I go, okay. So they were really upset that she was, like, violently handcuffed and thrown in the car and all these other things. Hey, and
Which, granted, yeah, she's pregnant, but, like you said, just cooperate to begin with.
She shoved the fucking cop. Listen, I don't agree with how brutal the cops are anyway, but...
No,
how about don't shove a cop? Don't assault a cop. If I'm a cop and a girl shoves me, am I going to start brutalizing her or, like, being extra rough with her like that? I mean, I don't know. You don't know what these cops have seen. I understand that most of the time, if I'm a cop and a woman does something, I'm going to try to calm her down no matter what, and eventually maybe I'll put her in handcuffs. But these cops see women stab them, attempt to stab them, women with guns. They don't fucking know what's coming. And if you attack
guy,
them...
girl, it doesn't matter. You have to view everyone as equally dangerous.
Right. I mean, let's be honest. You have to do it. Was I happy that they were so rough with this girl and she's pregnant? That's terrible. But she fucking started it. So don't shove a cop. And you'll be okay.
All you have to do is comply. And, if things can get sorted out later on.
I was pulled over once when I didn't do anything. They thought I robbed a school. I had guns in my face. That was wrong. I had guns in my face. I didn't do anything. But they didn't know what I was there to do either. But I didn't get assaulted. You know why? Because I didn't shove the cops. We sat there. After about 15 minutes, they figured out that I wasn't the person, and then they took off. I never got shoved. I never got shot. I never got anything because I fucking didn't do anything. I didn't shove anybody.
Exactly.
Now,
there's better ways to handle the situation.
Who knows what would? But I mean, do I wonder what would have happened if I was a black guy? Maybe. Well, but I will say one thing. In Massachusetts, at least, the cops are pretty goddamn good here. You almost never see. Try to think of a time when you saw police in Boston or Massachusetts police in the last 20 years do anything that was insane. You really can't find much. The cops here are fairly smart. Even on like home raids and stuff like that, they're pretty careful. I mean, stuff does happen everywhere, but our cops here are pretty fucking good, and I'm lucky for that because I have seen some bonehead motherfuckers throughout this country. But at least in this area, it seems to be that they're a little more down to earth, maybe too relaxed here. They're kind of just like, oh, what's up? What's going on?
Too easy.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Subscribe, comment down below. What did you think of all this? Do you disagree with me on some things? I don't know. Do you agree with me? Whatever it is, leave it down below or follow us on Twitter at Shame on News and subscribe here to Shame on News on YouTube. My name's Joe, and this is Jake, and we'll see you in the next video or podcast. Thanks. Watch these other videos if you missed them.
Stay tuned for more news right here on Shame on News.